Are you still running your business with one creaky old phone system? Missing calls, losing track of messages, and scrambling to keep up with your team? It's time to break up with the past and say hello to Quo. Quo is the #1 business phone system with 4.7 stars across 3,000 reviews on G2. Quo brings all your business phone calls and texts into one app for your team. No more juggling devices or being tied to a landline. Quo's built-in AI logs calls, creates summaries, automates follow-ups, and can even answer and route calls so you never miss an opportunity. Whether you're a solo operator or leading a growing team, Quo keeps you connected and helps you deliver standout customer experiences. Join over 90,000 businesses using Quo and see why it's the #1 business phone system for customer satisfaction. Level up your workflow with Quo. Get started free, plus get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/tech. That's Quo, spelled QUO.com/tech. And if you have existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over for free. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers.
If you're a smoker or vapor ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction, but there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
You've worked hard to build your business. SimpliSafe helps you protect it. With SimpliSafe for Business, AI-powered cameras watch over your entry points and instantly alert live monitoring agents. They can deter intruders before they get inside. It's protection built for growing companies. 24/7 monitoring, no contracts, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. To get 60% off your new system, go to simplisafe.com/podcast. That's simplisafe.com/podcast for 60% off. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This is the Daily Tech News for November 12th, 2025. We tell you what you need to know, give you the important context, and help each other understand.
Today, driverless cars hit the highways.
Watch out, there's no one driving. I'm Tom Merritt.
And I'm Sarah Lane.
Let's start with what you need to know with the big story. Alphabet's Waymo has become the first autonomous taxi service in the world to offer routes that take you on the freeway without anybody else in the car, just you and the computer. And by freeway, I mean controlled access motorway, expressway, whatever you call it. It's the one where you go fast and there aren't stoplights. Waymo rides in Los Angeles, Phoenix, and San Francisco may now include freeways in their routes, which Waymo expects might reduce times by up to 50%, at least in some cases. The feature will roll out slowly and only to Waymo riders who note the preference in the app. So by default, you're not going to go on the freeway. You have to go in and say, I'm okay going on the freeway. And even then, you might not get one every time. They're going to roll it out slowly. However, you could get one any time of day. It will be available 24 hours a day. It also isn't available on all the freeways in these cities. In fact, these cities don't even have the service available in the entire metro area. For instance, Sarah gets it, but I don't, just based on where we live in LA. But they are going to expand it over time. And one of the cool things is it will now let them add more airport service. So you can do curbside airport service at San Jose Airport. They were already doing Phoenix Sky Harbor. They also are working on adding it to SFO, San Francisco's airport, where they have a permit for tests right now. They just want to add the ability to pick up actual people. Now, some aspects of highway driving are simpler for autonomous systems. You may think, well, yeah, that's why they work. My driver assist stuff only works on the freeway for following and lane guidance and all of that. It is simpler to do that stuff. It's the edge cases that are the problem. And that's why it's taken so long for these companies to add highway driving. Waymo says critical events happen less frequently on freeways. That means there are fewer opportunities to train and test these systems. So Waymo augmented its public road testing with closed course and simulations to get it up to a reliable level. Now, Waymo's the first, but they won't be the last. WeRide in Abu Dhabi, Pony AI in China, and Tesla in the U.S. are all testing autonomous freeway service but they all have humans inside at the moment. Waymo's the first one to pull the human.
Yeah, so we talk about this all the time on DTNS Live because in my area of LA, I've said to people, I mean, Waymo, like it's every fifth car. They're everywhere. People, kids are taking them to school. I mean, it is definitely something that has been adopted as a service. Now, of course, there are Uber drivers as well, and Lyft drivers and a variety of other companies working on this stuff. But Waymo's very pervasive. I have noticed, so when I take the 10 freeway, for anybody who's not familiar with LA, if I'm going straight to the beach, I take the 10. It's due west from where I live. So, east to west. And you take it downtown, major freeway. And the first time I saw a Waymo on the freeway, which was not that recently, maybe about a year ago, I was like, holy crap, and I'm kind of looking like, is somebody driving? Is someone in the back? I couldn't tell. They seemed to be empty. And I think that was just, test stuff because they weren't allowed to carry a passenger on the freeway. And, for anybody who hasn't enjoyed the thrill of driving on LA freeways, it can be a little nutty sometimes. Not even just because there are a lot of people on the road, but people drive crazy.
Yeah.
You got motorcyclists. It's, you have to have your wits about you. So even I, as a Waymo enthusiast, I'm sort of like, do I do that? Boy, it would get me to the beach a lot quicker, instead of going surface streets the whole time. But does this feel safe? And then I think, well, does it feel safe for anyone to drive me on the freeway?
Exactly.
So that's where the conversation doesn't, it doesn't feel any less safe. In fact, it feels more safe, really.
How many fatalities are there announced with autonomous driving versus how many fatalities are announced with human driving? And granted, the human driving sampling is way bigger right now. But even if you adjust for that, you rarely, in fact, if there's a fatality involved with an autonomous driving unit, it is huge news. You are going to know about it. Somebody dies in a car accident, you probably don't hear about it. Because sadly,
it's just
it happens
sort of,
too often.
it's just like, oh, what a shame.
Yeah, exactly.
I was actually I
look at this stuff and feel like that probably is safer right now.
I wasn't on the freeway yesterday, but I was on a surface street. I was going around I don't know, it was a garbage truck or, something. And I saw a Waymo coming toward me, and I'm kind of in the Waymo's lane. But I had time to, get around on my side.
You were passing. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. And, I was sort of like, what if I just didn't stop? What is the Waymo going to do?
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to go ahead and be, a test case for this. But,
yeah, sure.
I think the Waymo would just be like, well, I don't know, something weird's going on. I'm just sitting here.
It would slow down, stop, try to get out of the way. But yeah.
Yeah. And going back to human drivers, and I have no issue with, with very few exceptions, I've never had an issue with somebody who's, driving for a living, taking me from point A to point B. But sometimes you think like, well, they're acting a little weird. I wonder if they're tired.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Waymo doesn't get tired.
Yeah, it doesn't. And if there's an issue, you've got people back at, ground zero, trying to figure out what's going on. So I actually feel safer in something like a Waymo. And that is the only autonomous car that I've ever used because that's what I've got in LA. And I know that there are, other companies trying to, fix this problem. Some people are like, no, I don't like it. It freaks me out. I don't want that. And that is fine, but I think that's where we're going. think that's where we're going.
So too. I mean, I was coming back from LAX last week, I guess, and saw a Waymo on the highway. By the way, notable that LAX is not even mentioned in any of these stories as something Waymo wants to attack yet. And that's understandable given just how complex, and they're changing things and building things. Anyway, I was coming back from LAX on the 405, which is another big freeway in Los Angeles. And I saw a Waymo. And for a moment, my involuntary reaction was like, what's it going to do? I haven't ever seen it on the freeway. Do I have to be careful? And then I realized, like, yeah, I used to kind of think that when I'd see them on the surface streets. And now I know it's not going to do anything. It's just going to drive normally. In fact, it's the least likely to do anything weird when you're driving because it's following rules and obeying the speed limit and all of that.
Well, and there are multiple cameras all around the car designed to like figure out, like, what if someone else does something erratic?
Yeah, exactly.
And then I, don't get into a car crash with them.
Yeah. Well, I think this is the kind of milestone in the development of autonomous cars, because we've been covering them all 12 years of DTNS, that I've been looking for is like, when can you just, without thinking, get an autonomous car to take you from your house to the airport? What doesn't matter what roads, doesn't matter what weather. Granted, these are all warm weather. Well, San Francisco's warmish weather, warm compared to most places.
Yeah.
These are all warm weather locations, but we are getting there. We are getting to where, sadly, I'm going up to San Jose this weekend to visit my family, and I will not be able to take a Waymo from the San Jose airport because they don't go to where my family lives.
The way you prefaced that, I was like, why are you sad to go visit your family? But yes,
right.
Yeah, that was the
sadly,
rest
I
of
won't
the
be able to
sentence.
take the Waymo. I'm very happy to visit the family, just to be clear.
Well, if you have thoughts on this, we know you do. Thank you so much for all the feedback that you give to us. In that vein, let's just thank a few folks, because DTNS is made possible by you listening right now. Thanks to Howard Yermish, John Atwood, Pat. And guess what? We've got some new patrons. We've got Dee Dee, we've got Daniel, and we've got David.
Welcome, Dee Dee, Daniel, and David.
Yeah, it's 3 Ds. Or 4, really.
As a small business owner, you don't have the luxury of clocking out early. Your business is on your mind 24/7. So when you're hiring, you need a partner that works just as hard as you do. That hiring partner is LinkedIn Jobs. When you clock out, LinkedIn clocks in. LinkedIn makes it easy to post your job for free, share it with your network, and get qualified candidates that you can manage, all in one place. With LinkedIn's new tools, you can write great job descriptions and quickly get your post in front of the right people using deep candidate insights. You can either post your job for free or pay to promote it. Promoted jobs get 3 times more qualified applicants. At the end of the day, what matters most is the quality of your candidates. 72% of small businesses using LinkedIn say it helps them find high-quality hires. And you can boost your reach by adding a hashtag hiring frame to your profile picture to get twice as many qualified candidates. Find out why more than 2.5 million small businesses use LinkedIn for hiring. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/DTNS. That's linkedin.com/DTNS. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You've worked hard to build your business. Simply Safe helps you protect it. With Simply Safe for Business, AI-powered cameras watch over your entry points and instantly alert live monitoring agents. They can deter intruders before they get inside. It's protection built for growing companies. 24/7 monitoring, no contracts, and a 60-day money-back guarantee. To get 60% off your new system, go to simplysafe.com/podcast. That's simplysafe.com/podcast for 60% off. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. It's our Black Friday sale. Recharge this season with a bundle of cozy, soothing comfort. Now only $17.99 for our C2 mattress and base, plus free premium delivery. Prices higher in Alaska and Hawaii. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
There's more we need to know today. Let's get to the briefs.
Even Realities released its new smart glasses model called the G2 display. It pairs with the Even R1 smart ring. So let's talk about the glasses first. The display is still projected by micro LEDs and waveguides on the lens in green text, but there's added depth and sharpness. This lets them show notifications at a different depth than something else that you might be reading. So, there's some eye context here. This comes with a new feature that they call Conversate, which can provide contextual information for you while you're talking to someone else. The G2 also supports a wider range of prescription lenses. It's also 54% slimmer at the temples and is now IP67 rated for dust and water resistance. It promises 2 days of battery life, and the case can charge it 7 times on a single case charge. So you got the case all charged up. You can go for a while with this. You can control it by voice or touchpad on the frame. But the R1 Smart Ring also has a touchpad and adds a heart rate sensor and accelerometer for step tracking. If you were interested, you can order both today. The G2 smart glasses are $599, and the R1 Smart Ring is $249.
Yeah, this is an interesting way of going about it. These are comparable to the Meta Ray-Bans in a lot of ways, but they do have the AI assistant in it, just a different AI assistant. And the Smart Ring, certainly less capable than the hand controller that the Meta display ones come with. But kind of a cool way of doing it, because you may say like, well, it's just a touchpad there. It's not gesture control, but you don't have to raise your hand every time you want to do a control. You don't have to raise it up to your face and touch your glasses. You can just keep it in your lap. Samsung Galaxy XR does a similar thing where you can do pinches without having to, reach out, and touch something, which is convenient when you're using this stuff for a long time. And then making that smart ring optional to kind of bring the price down, I think was smart too.
The smart ring, I don't know, the options that we have for smart rings now is very interesting to me. The Aura smart ring was the first one that I ever saw anyone wear. And I was kind of like, I don't know, too bulky. I'm not wearing that. But I wear an Apple Watch all day and all night. And the more smart ring stuff that we seem to be getting with various companies, the more I'm like, this seems to be a form factor that's really working for people.
Yeah, and I think Even Realities kind of saw that and said like, well, for somebody who's not sure if they want a smart ring but does want smart glasses, let's give them the option to have both,
right,
and spend that money with us
exactly.
instead. Definitely continuing to shape up for 2026 to be the year of the smart glasses, though. We're getting these third-party brands, these independent brands with really compelling offers like this. Google says its new private AI compute lets you get the power of cloud computing for Gemini without sacrificing privacy. This is what Apple promises with Apple Intelligence, a private compute cloud where even it can't see your data. That's what Google is describing here. It runs on one stack. It uses Google's tensor processing units, and those TPUs have an AMD-based trusted execution environment, a little secure enclave. So the way they've created this, your device has an encrypted link directly to that secure enclave in the cloud. That way, Google cannot even see what you're asking. It just runs in that enclave, sends it back to you. You're the only one who knows. Google also got an independent auditor, the NCC Group, to look at this and says it met NCC Group's privacy guidelines. Google will continue to offer local processing. They're not trying to get rid of that because Gemini models sometimes can take advantage of the lower latency and can work offline locally, but they want to do this hybrid approach so you get the best of both worlds because there's a lot more power when you can send it to the cloud. In related news, Google also dropped new features for its Pixel line of devices. The Pixel 9 and newer get notification summaries, so if you have longer chats and conversations. The aforementioned low power mode for maps Talked about that on previous shows. That arrives for Pixel 10 and later. It shows you just your route in the next turn, keeps the power draw low. And the Nano Banana model powers a feature called Remix that lets you change a photo in Messages, as well as a Help Me Edit button in Google Photos that lets you make natural language requests and edit your photos there.
Now, I've never played around with a Pixel device, although they seem nicer and nicer to me these days. Why would you change a photo in Messages?
Oh, it's a
just like I sent you the wrong photo, Tom.
No,
sorry.
It's more of a like you send me a picture of your dog, and then I'm like, make Rex wear a funny birthday hat because it's his birthday, and then I send it back to you. I feel like it's that kind of stuff. Hence the remix name.
Yeah, so these are little improvements, but still people are going to be excited about them. Going back to the privacy part of this. I mean, if Google can do this successfully and Apple is obviously on the same path, then this is huge for consumer trust.
Yeah, if you can trust it, and having it independently audited goes a long way to helping me trust it, then you can start to say, all right, I want to tell my model something, and the model knows it, but nobody else needs to know it, right? And that's going to let you use it for a wider variety of things, and not like malicious things or even embarrassing things, but just stuff where you're like, I don't know, I don't need anybody else knowing that.
Yeah, I mean, there are conversations where I'm like, I'm just not going to broadcast this to the world. Yeah. I'm not saying anything
the
weird.
What if
it's just
kind of stuff. Yeah.
Right,
totally.
right. I gotta say, and maybe Google can do this better than Apple. I hate notification summaries. I have turned off all of that, in iOS, and Mac OS. Like, I wanted to like it. And every time I was like, no, you're scaring me with your notifications. You're making me think that the conversation's about something that it isn't.
And it usually just makes me want to go like, wait, what? Is that really what's being said in there? Versus like, oh, that was helpful. So, yeah.
Yeah. Couple notable hardware announcements today. Sony is launching a Japan-only version of the disc-free PS5 starting November 21st for 55,000 yen, which is about $350, about 25% cheaper than it sells anywhere else. It can only be used with the Japanese PlayStation account on Sony's Japanese game store. And it's the first region-locked PlayStation in 20 years. Samsung also announced a 27-inch rollable monitor on a display that has a 3-hour battery life. It's called the Samsung Moving Style, and that sells for $1,199.99.
Now, I don't live in Japan, so that's part of the reason I'm less excited about this, although it did make me start to go, oh, I wonder how you break that region lock. However, I really tried to find a reason to buy this 27-inch rollable monitor. I do not have one.
No,
like, that's
same.
just so cool.
I like it, but then I'm like, 3-hour battery life.
Yeah, that's for a conference room where you're like, let's roll it out here, and then you roll it back and plug it in after your 1-hour meeting. 3 hours is enough for something.
Totally get that. And yeah, not every conference room has the nice monitor set up. So, if you're a traveling salesman, and you can deal with something that's, I think it's 12 pounds, without the stand. Yeah, that's heavy, but it's doable. Depending on, what your line of work is. I think it has HDMI out and then 2 USB-C outs. So yeah, this is it's a very specific use case. When I saw 3 hours, I was like, oh, so this is not something for your home.
This is not for like, I'm going to move out outside and work all day. Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I guess it depends on where you live, but yeah, this feels like very, I take lots of meetings. I have to do presentations and I can just take the whole thing with me.
Independent streaming app Coda is trying to attract users by making it easier to sort generated music from human-made music. Coda launched tools that can find and label songs not made by humans. So they're running these tools, trying to identify and then label those artists. Coda will also review new artists and label them as AI if they have generated music. You can report an artist you suspect to be generated that's not labeled as well. And there's no punishment. They just put a label on it that says AI artist so that you know, and added a setting for you to turn off all the AI artists. That way you just won't get any recommendations or music from them in your feed should you wish.
I know that and Stephanie Humphrey and I talked about this on DTNS, which is going to be part of our weekend edition this weekend. It was a great conversation, but the idea that, AI confuses people and because not everyone understands the tools that are at the ready. And then on social media in particular, sometimes things will spread like wildfire, where like half the people are like, it has a Sora watermark. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And everyone else is like, look, the president's dead, whatever it is. And, when it comes to music, that feels, certainly if you're in the music industry, you have more thoughts about this than I probably do, because it would affect your bottom line more than mine. But this does feel like a really well-rounded way to go about this.
Yeah, I like this a lot because it puts the control on me. It says, let me provide you information. And I know a lot of people are like, I don't want all that AI slop. Well, here you go. You can turn it off if you want, but it's not punishing artists who are experimenting with it, who might legitimately be saying like, no, this is a great tool. I want to use it. And saying you can't be on our platform. It's like, you can be on our platform. Just know some people don't want to hear music that's generated, so they may turn you off. And that's totally fair. Coda also does a lot of artist friendly things. It lets you like take $1 of your subscription and give it to a particular artist per month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but over a lot of different people that could build up. And it's certainly a bigger chunk of change than artists usually get from streaming royalties.
Indeed. Well, direct support. I mean, we're no strangers to that. It does add up.
Right? Yeah, yeah, it really does.
Apple launched support for the U.S. passport on iPhone and Apple Watch, which can be used at more than 50 airports in the U.S. The feature is called Digital ID and can be used in a dozen states and also Puerto Rico, with more on the way. Doesn't replace a passport for international travel. You still got to have a passport for that. But when you present it, you use either Face or Touch ID to verify that it's indeed you holding the phone. Then the phone transmits info using NFC. It'll also show you what information is being shared. Apple says businesses will soon be able to use it to verify ages as well.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why only a dozen states, that's where the TSA gates have been updated to support it. So they're going to try to roll it out. Like all 50 states. If you have a U.S. passport, you can add this to your Apple phone. It just might not be useful at your local airport until they update their equipment. But it's one of those, like, eventually they want to roll it out everywhere. And I love this idea of being able to get it used at businesses to verify age, because when you hand over your ID at a store to buy a beer, they see all your information. They don't need to know your address. But there's no other option. You hand them the ID to get the birth date. With this, you can say, yeah, in fact, I don't even think you need to know my birth date. Just, am I over 21 or younger than 21? And that's the kind of thing that this can send.
I never really thought about that. I mean, I don't get ID'd much these days, but, the idea of like handing over an ID that is legitimate, and they don't care what your name is, they don't care what your address is.
Yeah,
they're just looking for that birth date. But in the off case where somebody is like, well, now I know where she lives, that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
So we don't have to add that stuff.
With digital, they could be collecting that digitally and creating a database, right? And you may not want that either. And this way, it wouldn't be. You're just like giving them only the information they need for stuff. All right. We had no show yesterday because of the U.S. holiday. So we've got a lot of headlines to catch you up on. These are the kinds of things that are good to know if you want to understand the news both now and in the future.
The UK will introduce the Cybersecurity and Resilience Bill, which increases enforcement of security standards and mandates, auditing, and regulation for companies that provide networking services to government initiatives like the National Health Service.
Yeah, just make things mandated to be more secure. The UK also announced an amendment to the Crime and Policing Bill, which would allow child safety charities to assess new generative models safeguards against the creation of child pornography, to be able to certify whether they are protecting people enough or not.
The Wikimedia Foundation has created a voluntary program, emphasis on voluntary, that asks for companies to pay to use its enterprise API to gather training data.
So Wikimedia to be like, just do the right thing. We're not going to enforce this.
Yeah, we're going to remind you every single day.
Exactly.
But we're not going to make you do it.
IBM announced 2 new quantum computers, Nighthawk and Loon, that use a modular way to connect qubits, allows for a lot of different kinds of connections, and gets those quantum computers closer to error-free quantum computing.
I wonder if somebody who used to work at Google was like, we have to call it Loon.
Oh, yeah. I missed that. No floating network project.
Yep. Speaking of Google, it filed a lawsuit in the U.S. against a Chinese group called Lighthouse, which sells an online phishing service. If it can get the group's actions declared illegal, it can then pursue taking down the group's domain names and servers.
Yeah, even though that group's in China and they're not going to get them and throw them in jail, they could take away some of their domains and servers, which would be good. Anthropic announced its own plans to build data centers in Texas and New York. They'll build these in partnership with cloud platform provider FluidStack.
An extension of Gemini and Google Drive's PDF viewer can now make an audio overview right from the PDF without having to take it to Notebook LM.
I hear some
very
cheering.
helpful. Yeah.
The first extended security update for Windows 10 came out yesterday on Patch Tuesday for the folks who have signed up for the ESU. If you're one of the people saying like, I tried, but I couldn't, I was prevented from signing up, Microsoft also released an out-of-band update to fix a bug that prevented enrollments in the extended security updates for Windows 10.
Apple announced a short and long version of a knitted crossbody iPhone strap that costs either $150 or $230 depending on how long it is. It's a limited edition collaboration with Japanese designer Issey Miyake, coming November 14th.
Yeah, if you want to see my legitimate reaction to that price, check out our office hours mailbag from Tuesday, where I read the story cold and then saw the price, was like, my God, but it's a designer thing. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, people buy expensive belts. I kind of think of it as that category of stuff.
Singles Day is the world's largest shopping day, speaking of shopping, with most of the shopping concentrated in Asia and especially China. So we always look at the Chinese companies to see how Singles Day did. Numbers are trickling out. A lot of anecdotal reports that it wasn't as big of a day as usual, but JD.com reported a 60% rise in sales.
Meta's chief AI scientist, Jan LeCun, announced he will leave in the coming months to create a startup to develop world models, which learn from visual and spatial data rather than text.
Yeah, add that to your buzzword list. World models.
Spatial data.
Yeah, world models are going to be big.
Yep.
Google just brought back Cameo. It's spelled Cameo. Cameo. Brought it back to Chrome OS. It allows enterprise users, or enterprise administrators, I should say, to stream legacy Windows apps to Chrome OS. Good Windows 10 substitution.
And the first permanent Pokemon-themed theme park will open on February 5th, 2026. In Tokyo's Yomiuri Land.
Yomiuri Land!
Yay!
Yay! Okay, now my niece is going to want to go back to Tokyo again.
Well, now I do too.
I know, me too. Hey, folks, we just updated the DTNS store with lots of cool new stuff. We've got a DTNS pint glass with the Len Peralta logo on there. What a wonderful gift. RW Nash is planning to test it this weekend and let us know how it does. My new ebook, Synced, Know a Little More About Tech, is available in there as a PDF and an EPUB. And we've got brand new holiday art from Len Peralta that you won't find anywhere else, that you can get on a holiday card, on a postcard, on a hoodie, on a mug. It's all available at dailytechnewsshow.com/store.
Third down. Did you see the game last night? Of course you did, because you used Instacart to do your grocery restock. Plus, you got snacks for the game, all without missing a single play. And that's on multitasking. So we're not saying that Instacart is a hack for game day, but it might be the ultimate play this football season. Enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply. For 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants. Instacart. We're here.
'Twas a cold winter's night, and without any heat, I wore Bombas socks so they'd warm up my feet. Yay, my feet cried. These socks are the best. So cushy and warm, I can finally rest. But don't rest, I said. There's more, if you please. Bombas also makes underwear, slippers, and tees. And for each thing you purchase, they donate one new to someone who needs it, so they're cozy too. Everybody deserves to feel good all the time, so gift Bombas this season. That's the end of this rhyme. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase.
We like to end every episode here on DTNS with some sharing. Today, Norm wants to share some good feelings about our weekend episode.
Yeah, sometimes when you drop someone else's podcast onto your feed, you don't know how people will react. Well, Norm wrote, "Thanks for including the Kilowatt podcast in my weekend feed. It reminded me of how NPR uses their podcast network to introduce listeners to other great content. I'm not in the market for a new vehicle at the moment, but I really enjoy learning more about the topic. It was a nice surprise, and I'm glad the team didn't have to create extra weekend content to make it happen. Appreciate the thoughtful curation as always."
Norm. Oh, thanks, Norm.
Yeah. And Bodhi was very appreciative that Norm was very appreciative. So it's a whole virtuous circle of appreciativeness.
Yay. Kilowatt. Good stuff. What are you thinking about? Does something strike a chord that we talk about week after week? You have some insight into a story you think we should really know about? Share your thoughts with us at feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com.
Big thanks to Norm for contributing to today's show. Thank you for being along for Daily Tech News Show. You keep us in business, folks. If you're not a patron already, please look at becoming one. Patreon.com/DTNS. We'll talk to you soon.
The DTNS family of podcasts, helping each other understand.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Is your business struggling to keep up? When the world moves fast, relying on yesterday's technology will slow you down. Ericsson powers your business with 5G and AI enterprise solutions. From local franchises to global companies, Ericsson helps businesses like yours to operate smoothly, stay protected, and keep growing every day. Speed up and stay ahead. Visit us at ericsson.com/enterprise.
Hi, this is Joe from Vanta. In today's digital world, compliance regulations are changing constantly, and earning customer trust has never mattered more. Vanta helps companies get compliant fast and stay secure with the most advanced AI, automation, and continuous monitoring out there. So whether you're a startup going for your first SOC 2 or ISO 27001, or a growing enterprise managing vendor risk, Vanta makes it quick, easy, and scalable. And I'm not just saying that because I work here. Get started at Vanta.com.